honored to be here today because I think this is so important to our community. We are continuing on the legacy of the founders of the United American Indian involvement. And also what's most important that I want people to know is this is an act of self-determination. You know, being a part of the community, which UAII is a huge part of our urban Native community, being a part of this community and seeing the needs, the challenges that our Native peoples are faced with as living in an urban community. So to see this today, it makes my heart happy.
Favorite moment from this event was when we brought over some neighbors. That was amazing. It was kind of our first time really interacting with them. We had a family come in. They had some delicious barbecue.
UAII has impacted my life because I once was a client for UAII. I also was in transitional housing before. I started working with UAII, so I do have experience, you know, being in transitional housing, and it has given me a chance to change my life. You know, it gave my kids a chance to have housing, a roof over their head, you know, and it just gave me a chance to provide for my kids.
My advice would be to ask for help. Don't be scared. I know we're all struggling. We've all gone through stuff. We've all gone through pandemic, through grief. But with UAII and all the different departments that there is, from workforce to Clubhouse to 7Gs to the SAFE program, there's room for you and you're welcomed. And no matter what state you're in, addicted, non-addicted, tribal, non-tribal, there's volunteer positions as well. I always appreciate that UAII is welcoming and available to help when you think that there's no help. All you got to do is ask for support, because your community, that's what we're here for. We're a community, and we need to take care of our people in whatever state you are.
The emotions that I got during the ribbon cutting were just an overwhelming experience, because we are seeing like history in the making. And like, I'm not from LA, I'm actually from the Bay Area, and I feel so like far away from home and my family, but coming here to UAII, I feel like there's a sense of belonging, and you know, I feel like I'm sort of home.
The feeling that I got when we cut the ribbon was, yes, we did it.
We are fulfilling a promise that was originally established by our founders, Baba Kupua and Marian Zuko, who originally went down into the most impoverished area of LA, which is downtown Skid Row. And they set up shop. Imagine two young American Indian women coming into the downtown Skid Row area and building a trust and building a legitimacy within the American Indian community, especially those who had been forgotten, those who were hopeless, those who were succumbing to alcohol, drug abuse, or who were contemplating suicide. There is a great deal of suicide ideation, not only then in the 1970s, but also continues to plague us even till this day. Imagine American Indian women, 40% of our American Indian women have already had thoughts of committing suicide by the age of 25. Imagine, that's almost half of the population have already become so hopeless that the only way out they see is by committing suicide. But they find hope within this organization. They find hope amongst each other. And that's one of the things that we continue to do to address each and every day, that we answer the call. I know we have many staff members here, and so I hope that you will join me in sharing a little applause for every one of our staff members who continue to answer that call. You know, the organization continues to see cycles of poverty even till this day. We seek to address that every day that we go into our office, every day that we clock in. We know that the issues that still plagued our members in the 1970s continue to need to be addressed even to this day. And so I am so proud of each one of our staff members, of our entire leadership, and of our community members in continuing to band together on being able to address these issues, whether it's around health, whether it's around behavioral health, whether it's around the education of our young people, but it's also being able to house them It's being able to make sure that they have a sense of security when no one else will provide it for them. We will. We'll answer the call. One of the people that I'm very humbled and honored to have here with us today is one of our own board members, one of our own community members, one of our own community leaders is Keith Vale. Not only is he a veteran, but he has also been a proud servant of this community. He's also gone through the resources and services that we have continued to provide even till this day. And so I'm very happy to welcome Keith today, and he's offered to share a brief prayer with us. I ask that you each stand, and if you're a male, please remove your caps. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you. Thank you, all my relatives, for being here. I have experienced in the 80s working with UAI a lot of trauma from the relocation, and I'm part of that in 1963, taken away from home. We were through the Bureau of Indian Affairs, finding us apartments, moving, loss of job, just a lot of stuff that was going on. But UAI provided this building down in a place, 118 Winston Street, Skid Row. In my times of trouble and confusion, I needed a place, and I found it at UAI with a man named Dave Rambo. From then on, it's history. I owe everything to this program, and now I was trying to find parking here today. I go, why is it so difficult, this life? And then I caught myself. I said, I'm going to a apartment building where those people have more difficult things than me. I should be blessed. So I grabbed the staff and I walked across that street, and all these cars were looking at me and saying, what is this, a new homeless man? But it's a Native American walking across to a celebration and come to a place that I hope this is not a dream and I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be back in that alley. No, I just hope I never wake up if it's a dream. Okay, we're gonna say a little prayer. Thank you, Creator, Grandfather, for today, for yesterday, for the days to come. Watch over our elders, watch over our seventh generation, watch over the winged ones, watch over the four-legged ones, our relatives, and also the ones that swim in the ocean. I just want to acknowledge the Tongva land here that we're on. Thank you, relatives, for letting us be here. Watch over our program, UAI. Watch over the people that are in this building. It's a thing we've been waiting, Creator, for all this time. A lot of resilience, a lot of patience that you give us. These are great gifts. Give them to our people. We will accept them, Creator. Whatever you want us to do, we humble ourselves to you. UAI, admin, all the staff there, pray for them. We have a lot of challenges ahead in this life, but we can get it through together as a tribal unity. Thank you, Creator. I hope.
Thank you for that, Keith. Appreciate that. You may sit. Thank you for that, Keith. And as Keith had me thinking about, this great history of this organization, thinking about my own history and the history of my family and how we've been impacted by UAI over the years. We've benefited in many different ways. 5 generations of my family have been touched and impacted positively by UAII. And ours isn't just the unique part of this, but there are so many stories that are similar to ours. Having access to food or nutritious meals when we didn't have any at home. Having access to a place where we can feel a sense of being proud of being a Native person. That was done at UAII. The first time I ever saw a Native as a leader and everybody looked at him like, that was at UAII. The first time anybody ever cared for me as far as being a Native person about my language or anything like that was at UAI outside of my day-to-day home. And so we continue that. And so I know that there are some residents with us here today, and you'll get a chance maybe to meet them as you travel around and do some of the tours. But you get a chance to listen to those stories and how impactful they are of all the traumas and the healing that's being done in this home or in this facility. Imagine we've only had this facility a short amount of time. Out of the 31 units that we have here, we've already filled over 21 of those units. That's a tremendous achievement, which should be applauded. Yes, thank you. Right on cue. I knew you guys were going to get it. But I know that, too, you'll get a chance to meet some of the staff who's making that happen. I know our Vice President of Operations, Renee Williams, is over here. Raise your hand, Renee. Oh, she gave you the... And she's done tremendous amount of work to help us achieve this goal. I know Tencha Espino, our new housing manager. And we have so many other people. Travis has also done a terrific job. Travis. But most importantly, our residents. Our residents need to make sure that they are welcomed in this space. Do we have any residents here? I know there's, nope. But we do have some residents. There we go. There's another resident way in the back there. And you get to hear the touching stories that they have to tell, but more so get to hear how they're just, they stand up a little bit taller. Their chest is a little bit more out. They feel more of a sense of connectedness because they talk about that they can go anywhere else throughout LA County and receive tremendous amount of resources and services, but the one thing that they don't get is the cultural competency and the cultural care and being able to take care of one another, no matter what tribe they come from. There are over 200 different tribes that we serve. There is a reason why they continue to come back through our doors. There is a reason why they feel connected to this great organization. And it is because of the cultural competency that we can continue to provide. We know that this couldn't have been done anyway without the leadership that's involved. And I'm going to bring up our CEO here just in a moment. But we've also had some tremendous partners who've helped us achieve certain goals, specifically during the COVID-19 crisis. We know that over 90% of our funding comes from the federal government. And there are so many constraints within those dollars. It doesn't allow us to adapt and meet the challenges of our community because not everything's cookie cutter. We have a grandmother who's living out on the street, who's been placed out on the street, who's been taking care of her grandchildren, and she can't get placed in a home, so she's living under a bus terminal. And so what do? We don't necessarily, our job isn't just 9 to 5 and we forget after we clock out that grandmother is going to find shelter somewhere. Instead, we continue to make sure that we worry about her. We think about those children that she's taken care of. And so those are the types of issues that we have sought tremendous partnerships with places like the Weingart Foundation, with places like Alley 84 in order to help us provide youth services and youth support, with places like the California Community Foundation, who at the last moment, after we spent almost 6 to 9 months building this relationship and building this connection, came to our aid and said, we at least can provide you with something, some initial rental assistance for your community members so you can get them immediately placed. And there are so many instances too where private donors have come to our aid and helped us try to overcome a lot of those gaps that we couldn't provide those services for. And so I want to applaud them today, and I hope that you'll join me because it has been significant. I mentioned we couldn't do this without leadership, and we know that over the years we've started with significantly strong leadership with Baba Cooper and Marion Zuko. I know that Keith also described Dave Rambo. Dave Rambo, in his over 30 years within this facility and within the community, you can't mention his name without certain members tearing up because of the impact this man had on our day-to-day lives. I know I'm one of those people who can attest to that. And those names should never be forgotten. Our leadership, even as small as it's been, they have been mighty in the impact that they've had on our Native community. And to guide us through a global crisis, the last few years with the global pandemic, and to be able to realize this vision of now housing facility of our own, that's been done under the leadership of Luis Cervantes. And I want to invite Luis to come up and share a few words.
Thank you, Joseph. Joseph's good. Well, yeah, thank you for coming. I mean, we just saw each other a couple of weeks ago at a grand opening at Temple, and I'm like, wow, another one? But as we talked about the events we're going to be having coming up, I'm like, you know what? Let's just get used to this because of the staff that we have, the board that we have that's dedicated to the Native community, and the leadership, which honestly, they're my partners. I mean, it's just like, they're just high octane. Let's keep going. We got to keep making some things happen. I wanted to start with something just because this is prevalent throughout UAII, and there was a spectrum, last night I got to see that. I was turning on the TV, like, oh, there's UAII. And the gentleman that was being interviewed had Dodgers on. So yes, I'm going to talk about the Dodgers for a second. Last night there was a big game in Dodger Stadium, and it was monumental because a gentleman named Albert Pujols hit 700 home runs. Dodger fan there. Now, that's a big deal because there's only been 4 in the over 100-year history of the sport. And last year, he got to play for the Dodgers for only half a season, and they called him Theo Albert. And he said that rejuvenated him to continue to play. And last night, as a member of the Cardinals at Dodger Stadium, he hit that 700 mark. And, the fans, were, typically with our opponents, we don't cheer for them, right? I don't. But last night, you had to. You had to. So why do I bring this up? For UAII, we're accomplishing monumental things. And today, being here is one of those moments for our organization. We've been talking about housing for a very long time. Through the services of our programs, and it's not just one particular program. All of our programs, we've had opportunities to provide rent relief, various wraparound services, but in all of that, housing, the need for housing had kept coming up. And it's like, okay, we need to do something about this. And remember, I said we have a really great team, right? See, I have to be really careful when I say things like that, because if I bring it up, one of them is just going to make it happen. Next thing I know, Luis, we did this, we did that. Wow, okay. It's through these services that we came upon this facility. I wanted to introduce, and she was introduced already, but I want to speak about her a bit. Tencha Espinosa. If you don't know her story, I mean, we're going to have to put it on ABC or everybody else just because it's impactful. And I don't want to speak too much about it because then I'm going to get in a bunch of tears and I won't be able to say anything afterwards. But it was through these providing services, providing housing, placing people, that she came upon a partnership, and particularly a mother and daughter team, that took notice of the clients we were placing in their facilities. And it was through this relationship with Tencha that there was an inquiry about this new building that was going up, several of them actually. So I did want to, because they're also partners with us in this occasion, it's a mother and daughter team, Delia and Gabriela Pineda. If you could please stand, I'd like to welcome. Thank you for being here. Her daughter was here earlier. You probably met her. Her words to us earlier was, I wish everyone could do exactly what you're doing. You guys are a model in short time. So thank you for your kind words for us. But that really just speaks volume to the work that our staff has. Housing. Why is it important? It's important, right? I mean, I'm a product of growing up in 2 of 3 projects in a small little city of Pacoima. It's important. It's important to know that you have a home to go to. Yes, it is. It's very important. It's important as a kid knowing that I'm going to see my mom, my dad, my siblings in this place. That's a place I know I can count on going to. So yes, having housing is very important. Regardless of you're a small child, you're an adult. And it's because of this that we were going to go on this journey in creating housing. And, this is just the beginning for UAII. right? We've been able to get a lot of support already that's coming our way. I did want to say a big thank you because there's a person as a part of our organization, as a board member, that has just housing is her thing, right? Like wherever she goes, and if I bring her up, oh yeah, I know her. She's really good. So I did want to uplift Dr. Garcia, our board president. She's just a huge advocate, amazing. She's involved in everything Native. She's probably involved in some way in Los Angeles. And so, having that support from the board and the staff knowing this is something we're wanting to do, then you make it happen. And that's essentially what's occurred here. When I think about the individuals that are living here, if you see the article, I mean, it's just exciting, right? Just to know that there's an opportunity for them. And we're happy to be part of this journey with them. Because at the end of the day, there are many other organizations that provide services like we do. There are. They're good too. There are plenty that do housing, and some of them are pretty awesome. And they have medical clinics, and they run them well. But we're the only one in Los Angeles that provides culturally centered services to the Native American population. And it started with our founders that Joseph spoke of, and I've already said it, now that we're fully in our new building, can't wait to dedicate a portion of our space to them so that people remember them and what they've done to get us started here. But this is the first Native American housing in Los Angeles brings a lot of pride to my heart. It really does. Brian is our controller. Where's Brian? Guino. There he is. He's the other tall person. Joseph's 6'6", he's 6'5". So when I'm standing near them, right, I'm like, I need to wear my Harley boots next time I'm next to these guys. I'm 5'9". I look like 5'2" when I'm next to them. But even in his email to someone yesterday from across the country about our housing and how excited they are, and I'm like, this is who we are as a team. We took great pride in what we do. We take great pride in the services we provide to people. We take great pride in seeing people progress, right? And we work hard, right? I mean, they're late at night, early in the morning. We're shutting off thermostats to make sure we're using our resources wisely. Yes, we do that. Yes, we do. Because this is what we want to be able to dedicate it to. So with that, I'm just thankful to be a part of this journey. I'm just thankful to be a servant like the rest of our team. And just to, Renee and Tencha, they worked so hard to get this going and to make this happen. So I'm just really proud of this partnership with all of them. I mean, there's many more names. I don't want to say everybody's name because I know that I'm going to skip some names. But this is really a team thing, right? That's how we function at UAII. So just thank you very much for this.
Thank you for that, Luis. Appreciate those words. I think, 7 years ago when I had come over back to the organization and come from tribal government, the first thing we wanted to do was build strong relationships, of course, with the political leaders. We actually met with a congressional leader, gave him a terrific presentation. Believe me, we did a great job. But at the end of the presentation, the congressional leader and his representative sat quietly. And the first thing that they said was that, in 10 years of office, we've never had an American Indian sit across from us. We don't know if we have American Indians as constituents. We don't even know what the needs are within the American Indian community. And it could have been very easy for us to say, you know what? You guys need to do a better job. You need to come over there and see what we're doing. Instead, we said, we put the onus on us. We should do a better job going to you. We need to do a better job being more visible and more transparent on what's going on with the Native American community. If you don't know what the statistics are, we'll pull them and we'll give them to you. And that was the start of a great relationship. Now we have terrific relationships everywhere from City Hall. We have direct access to City Hall, direct access to our county board supervisors. Some of those are represented here today, and we're very pleased to have been joined by them. But we also have congressional leaders who have shared their support on everything from our workforce development and training dollars to the U.S. Department of Labor. Can you imagine? We have a direct connection all the way up to the first ever American Indian woman who's the U.S. Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland. Yes, tremendous achievement to now finally have our own Native people and opportunities where we get to have a say in our leadership that directly impacts our community members, that also have a direct impact on resources and services that impact our community members. And so we're going to continue to build those stronger relationships even here in this particular neighborhood. We want to be the best neighbors we could be. Anytime we think of Angelinos, we never think of Native peoples as being our neighbors. We have neighbors here to the east, to the west, to the south, to the north. We need to let them know who we are as an organization. We need to let them know who our Native community members are in general. And we need to invite them to things when it's appropriate to do so, just to make sure that they can have a real clear understanding as far as who we are. But of course, those relationships can also begin at the political level. And so I want to start by asking that Joy Richardson come up and share with us. She's the district director on behalf of California State Senator Sidney K. Kamlager. And so I'm happy to have her join us. And so she's going to come up here. Luis, do you want to, she's going to share a couple words, and then she'll present you with the scroll. Do you want to share some words?
Sure. So one, I want to say thank you for having me. And I came early and I heard the stories, and I'm so moved by this project. And I believe that is the first of many. So from the California State Senate, on behalf of Senator Sidney Kamlager, I want to present you with a certificate for this accomplishment today and for helping Native American families and individuals, and to continue to do this much needed work for affordable housing. So thank you so much, and it's so nice to be here today.
Thank you for that, Joy. Much appreciated. I know she said, I'm on a time constraint. I need to go, so wanted to be mindful of that. We also have a special message from LA City Mayor Eric Garcetti. We're going to share that on our social media sites. We want to make that available so that our community members and our staff members can take a look and be a part of that messaging. We're also joined today, although she's not going to share some words with us, is Guadalupe Duran Medina. And she is the planning director under LA County Board Supervisor Hilda Solis. Now, many of you all have known this, that we have a tremendous relationship with County Board Supervisor Solis, both her and her office. She came out and helped welcome our new Workforce Development and Training Department several years ago. You all know this, that County Board Supervisor Solis was the U.S. Secretary of Labor under then President Obama's administration. She's also been the first in many respects all across the state of California as a woman in the leadership world. And so tremendous to have her support us as not only as an organization, but also as a community. And so would you please also, although she's not here, perhaps Guadalupe could share, can we give a round of applause for Hilda Solis and Guadalupe? Oh, did you want to share some words? Oh, they're doing it together. So they're doing the old school tag team. I know that because that was the next part of my introduction, was welcoming a representative from Holly Mitchell's office. And we know that we're coming into a new space. You all may know this, but County Supervisor Mitchell is also the chairwoman of the County Board Supervisors, and this is a tremendous opportunity for us to build this relationship further. This isn't just something that's happening now. This is something that we're dedicated to long term. And I know we've also talked about the supervisor also sharing a small grant with us, upwards of $20,000, in order to further assist our members around access to food, around access to clothing, making sure that they have the rental assistance that they need long term. And so we're welcome to invite our representative to come up and share a few words.
Well, on behalf of the board, so I'm Isela Gracian with Supervisor Holly Mitchell, currently serving as chair, and my colleague Guadalupe.
Guadalupe Duran Medina on behalf of County Supervisor Hilda Solis.
Yeah, we're thank you for inviting us, and we just congratulations on this site. Having worked in housing myself previously, predominantly in Boa Heights, I know how hard and challenging it is to open each site, and also the joy when folks move in and you get to hand over those keys and have folks move in. So congratulations to everybody that's moving into this beautiful site, and knowing that being here as part of UAII's program, walking in those doors is transformative for each and every individual that you all touch, and that's the strongest impact of your work. So congratulations. And on behalf of both Supervisor Holly Mitchell and Supervisor Hilda Solis, we're presenting you with this scroll in recognition of dedicated service to the urban Native community in Los Angeles County and the launch of the first Native housing development. And again, we know it's the first of many.
Okay. We're going to do the ribbon cutting, right? Do you want anyone to speak? I'm sorry? Okay. So thank you, Guadalupe. Thank you, Isela, so much for coming and being a part of this. Like I said, this is something we're looking forward to doing long term. This is a long-term partnership on ours. I want to ask that the board members come on up. Oh, not all at once. It's okay. It's okay. Come on all up. And I don't know if you all want to share a few words. At the same time, we're going to get started on getting ready for the ribbon cutting as well. So our dignitaries, please don't leave just yet. I'd like to invite you to come up and be a part of the picture as well. Would any of you like to share any words on behalf of the board?
Stango, Hope Craig, Chahajifkados. Hello, my name is Hope Craig. How are you? I'm one of the newest board members of UAII. I just want to say hidi mahi, which is well done in our language, especially to the staff. I really want to address this to the staff because you guys have committed yourself to this organization, and I see your heart. I really do. And just a big mado for every challenge that you've been able to overcome so that we can take part in this day. As a board member, I hope you see my heart too. I really do. But with that, this is exciting to see this. I know as a child when we were growing up, most of my childhood we were homeless. So I know what this means to the community, especially to our Native community. And it's an honor for me to serve my community. I come from the tribal government side, so I'm all about sovereignty. And what y'all don't realize, this is an act of self-determination. I want y'all to understand that. Our sovereignty does not stop. Like, I'm an Oklahoma tribe, at least that's where they put us at. But my sovereignty does not stop at the Muskogee Reservation. My sovereignty follows me wherever I go, and I need you, Stajadogi, you Native peoples, to understand that. This is an act of self-determination. Be proud of that. Be proud of who we are. This organization was started, it's a grassroots organization. started by two phenomenal Sajadi women. Sajadi women who were, Sajadi is native in our language, two native women for native peoples. Just remember that. Two native women started this for native peoples. We are a community we're still healing. And this is part of our healing. So everyone behind me, before me, side of me, Hidi Mahi, and I am proud to stand here and continue to fight the good fight for our people throughout Indian country. And like I said before, I hope you see my heart.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll keep it short. I never had a chance to meet Marion or Baba, and I'd like to imagine that they were loving, obviously, to start an organization during that time period in the 70s when there really weren't much formalized services and resources for our community. So I could only imagine that they were probably the aunties of the community or the grandmas. I can also imagine that they were wicked smart and fierce for finding the resources, making it happen, growing an organization, but doing so, with love, right? And so I'd like to think that that those values are still within our staff today. I see it in, this place that we created, again, out of love and caring for our people. I also see the wicked smartness and fierceness in our staff people today who had a big hand in putting that together. So to you all, I say thank you. To everybody who wakes up super early to do these things, who stays up late at night, going over the smallest details. I think that is definitely a testament to our founders and to the original mission and vision of this organization. So I'm really proud to be a part of it, and thank you for trusting us. With that, to our residents today, thank you for letting us crash your home. And for you personally, I just wanted to say that this community here is here for you. We are standing behind you, we are wrapping our arms around you, and we wish you nothing but healing and love. And we had you in mind when all of these decisions were being made. So just know that you are loved and supported, and you have way more people in the community that's here to support you. So thank you, and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Okay, now, Travis, can you do me a big favor? Can you come over here and help me? Yes, you, Travis. You're the only person I know named Travis. Now,